and Jason here, live-ish, for at least for us.
For us.
Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors in beautiful Anderson, Texas.
I mean, unless you subscribe to Singularity, then I am a recording of myself.
Ooh, we're in the Matrix.
The Matrix.
Well, hey guys, if y'all haven't heard the show before, good for you.
Yeah.
But if this is your first time, well, here you're in for I don't know,
You're in for a treat.
You're in for something.
So the hardest part about a podcast / radio show is that you have to sometimes come up with topics and things to talk about or fun guests, and sometimes you just end up with nothing. And so that's kind of what this show is.
Yeah, we're going to talk about nothing. No, we're
There's a whole TV show about that.
we don't really have a topic today, which is cool. So we're probably just going to talk about what we got going on in our lives, what we've been up to, and
I'm going to kind of, my idea behind it, I'm going to come up with stuff that is, what are most common topics going through the shop at the moment? What are people asking about? And kind of dive in those, because if they're being asked in the shop, I figure they're being asked in the wild.
There you go.
Kind of cover those.
Cool.
So cool. But before we get started, number one thing we got to do, we got to thank our sponsors.
And our listeners.
And our
Listeners, thank you. Sponsors, thank you. So B&B Taxidermy, who else out there? Belleville Meat Market, two amazing companies. And hey, if you would like to be a sponsor, we actually have an opening. We're looking for another one. Mm-hmm. So to be in that top three, or the three that we promote here on the show all the time. So if you're interested, reach out to us. You can email us. You can hit us up on Facebook. You can call the radio station. You can call the store. However you want.
Just get a hold of us.
But we really do appreciate our sponsors, and of course our listeners. If you get the opportunity, like, share, tell your mom and them. That's how we get bigger. That's how people find out about us, and that allows us to go on cool trips, hunting and fishing, where we can come back here and talk about them and tell you how much we suck at it.
Oh yeah,
we are the learning curve.
Apparently, I'm a really good hiker / observer. Very poor hunter.
Yeah. I wouldn't even give us like a great hiking. Like,
No,
there's been like we've almost died. You almost had to get medevaced once from explosive diarrhea from MREs.
I did. Have we shared this story?
No, I don't think so. We can talk about like stories about. Let's do that. Let's make a complete episode about how our horrible experiences, all the times we almost died. No, that's one of my favorite stories. That you, it doesn't matter how well you prepare, how fit you are. We found this out a bunch of times.
Yeah, food poisoning gets you.
Yeah, poop can go wrong.
Yeah, in a hurry.
Yeah, where was that? That was...
So this was several years ago, and you got to lead up to that. Back when I was doing the Game Warden thing, I deployed to East Texas during Hurricane Ike. We were in Viter, of all places, doing nighttime security.
Super diverse community, from what I hear.
Very. Yeah, they're a real melting pot over there.
Yeah.
But it's funny because he was actually my roommate in the academy. His name Roy Martinez. We were stationed together in South Texas at the same time. His entire adult life, the first time he was ever north of a checkpoint, which is 60 miles from the border, was when he went to the Game Warden Academy. So like it was all new. I was there the first time he ever saw a pine tree. Blew his ever-loving mind.
I felt the same way the first time I went down further south and saw palm trees. I'm like, oh, what is this wizardry?
Yeah, these are there. And so
Gilligan's Island.
So we're doing our whole thing. It's uneventful. We're just doing nighttime security to make sure nobody was looting and stuff like that. But which ended up more than anything, we just everywhere we'd stop, nobody had power, so they're just serving food. I ate more amazing questionable meat.
No, yeah.
Across East Texas. But me being the sack dragger that I am, when the National Guard was passing out free stuff, I said and say no. So I had a whole bunch of these MREs.
And if you ever meet Jake and he sees something in his peripheral view, like around your property or anywhere you really are, and it doesn't look like it's been used in a month or two, he's gonna be like, "Hey,
what you doing with that?
What you doing with that?"
Yeah, you're still mad about that log splitter.
No, I gave you the log splitter.
Because you weren't using it.
I don't need a log splitter, damn it.
Anyway, so I got these MREs, and I live in a little house. Didn't have to play storm, so I was like, oh, they're meals ready to eat. They're designed for long-term storage. I'll throw them in the attic, not realizing you're supposed to keep them in a climate-controlled environment.
And I wouldn't have thought that either about MREs. I would have just figured...
Like either just stuck in a warehouse or a Connex or something. See, that's where I was at. Anyways, so it was me, my Game Warden buddy Dave Lewis, and 3 troopers. We decided to go hike the Outer Loop at Big Bend, which this whole trip has great stories. One after another, especially just the Will Kettler side of it. But so we're going, and I have these MREs, and I was like, this is going to be great. Had all my stuff. We're going to do the outer loop, have my water, had these plans. And that first night I ate this MRE, and I was like, kind of twangy, but it's okay. It's MRE. You know, they're never great. Never eat one to where you can see it visually because they all look gross. But, you know, here we are. And so we get going, start getting a little rumbly, and I'm like, okay, and kind of, you know, run off the trail a couple times. I'm like, it's okay. It's just my body getting acclimated or whatever. Then it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And we're so night one was fine. Day two got kind of questionable. By night three, it was, I'm like 3 MREs into this at this point. Like, you know, Mama didn't raise a quitter.
You're dosing yourself.
Yeah, I am.
Just killing yourself.
Most people would stop after getting food poisoning. I just kept doubling and tripling down on it. Anyways, so here I am. I'm in the back country of Big Bend, which it is absolutely desolate to begin with. Mm-hmm. I'm out of water. Nothing, I'm trying to keep it PC for the radio, but nothing is staying in any way. And here I am. I'm in a camp of a bunch of dudes, right? We all got our tents and everything. And the first couple times, and they tell you, be bear and mountain lion conscious because there are black bears and mountain lions. So it's bad. If you've ever had food poisoning, I had what food poisoning gives you. And so I'd come out of the tent and I'd kind of look around and, you know, take care of stuff and go back in. And, you know, 15 minutes later, it's the same. Another 15 minutes later, same. Next thing you know, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I am, as the good Lord made me, sweating in my tent. And I'm just laid out there looking like a little sway starfish. And I'm just hating life. And I got to the point that I quit even caring. And even to the point that I was kind of hoping a mountain lion might actually eat me, just put me out of my misery. And I vividly remember laying there going, okay, I have state insurance. I wonder if it covers a Black Hawk helicopter coming and extracting me, because it was that bad. Like, it was awful. I mean, I'm out of wet wipes. I'm out of toilet paper. I'm down to just a sock. Like, I had
just picture you in a tent, bodily fluids everywhere.
Oh,
like a gross cocoon.
Yeah, and then for a while there, I was trying to get away from camp, and it just got to the point. I was like,
you didn't care.
I didn't care. I was like, half in, half out. I felt bad for the guys, and so
I wouldn't. I know all the guys.
Yeah, sunrise comes up, and you know, apparently I look like I got 3 dosings of food poisoning, and the guys are nice enough. Like, okay, we're going to pack out, and you know, like I said, Mama didn't raise a quitter. They're like, hey, we'll carry your stuff. I'm like, no, I got this. So we hike.
Dave always carries like a banana bag with him. He didn't.
Oh, we never.
The one time he didn't have
like the one. I think this is why now.
Oh, okay.
So we hike out, and I'm so dehydrated. I'm like the point of hallucinating. Like they're pouring stuff to me, and I like
talking to a coyote that sounds like Johnny Cash.
No, almost. If it wasn't for the other 4 guys with me, I hiked out behind a hairy hippie chick. And I would have swore she was a hallucination. But we hike out, and I end up sleeping for 25 hours, just straight. And they had their own stories and a great time, but I learned that one is prepare for the worst. Yeah. Bring extra wet wipes than anticipated. That's why if you ever watch, like I bring they make like a 3-pack. I get 2 of those because I've been down this road. And 2, I will never eat another MRE the rest of my life. But it was, you know, as bad as it was, and as much as I sat there and thought I was going to just absolutely not make it, like this is how I imagine they're going to find like imagine, like you ever see like a good like old like B series like vampire movie, and like there's just like, you know, like they'll suck a person dry. And they're just like all like old like crinkled up tube of toothpaste. Right. That's how I found like freaking like they're gonna find my body, just void of all moisture, just out there.
But you made it. You got a heck of a story out of it. Those are the best stories.
They are the best stories.
You know, for those of you who have or have not been around the Big Loop, it is it's extreme, and a lot of it has a reputation for novice hikers going on it and getting into a lot of trouble. I had a buddy, and this was about 15 years ago.
Yeah, don't trust they'll say there's water caches out there. Do not plan on that.
He got there. He got there early. put water caches down, drove,
Oh, yeah.
put his water caches down. He called me when he'd have reception. And I'm in Pennsylvania at this time. And I get this call about 11 p.m. at night, and he's crying. And he's telling me goodbye. He's like, I'm dying. I'm about to be dead. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I did the big loop by myself. I made a mistake. I stopped and got water to Crete. And he's like, I walked off. It was 3 or 4 hours before I realized I left my hat on a rock. So he's just open-headed out there. And he's like, and I started walking back to get my hat. I lost my sense. He's like, I got off trail. He's like, I've been walking around looking for any type of trail. He's like, it's 11 o'clock. There's nothing. I haven't had water in a long time. He's like, I can tell this is it. And he's crying. I'm like, dude, don't give up. If you give up, it's over. Don't give up. Don't give up. Try to get a little sleep. Wake up. Try to find markers. I said, I'll make. If you can call me, if you're talking to me right now, that means you can get park rangers on the phone. They can figure out. They can save you. You're not going to die that quick. He's like, all right. So I start doing the same thing from Pennsylvania, trying to get a hold of somebody, tell him where he's at. I get a call 45 minutes later from this dude. Whole demeanor's changed. Everything's changed. A father and son were doing a night hike. Apparently, they could do the whole loop at night in like 10 hours. In the middle of
it goes on 115 degrees.
And he's like, I see headlamps. And he just went towards the headlamps. And these two dudes gave him water, got him all, right, and were leading him out. So, but he went from being, which he could have died if they wouldn't have saved him. But, calm down. Never panic. That's always rule number one when we're out there.
It is.
But it is a beautiful, if you do it with like Jake did with buddies. Because even in that situation, if you would have been out there with those MREs out of water, it could have been horrible. And there is a lot of places you do not have cell phone signal out there.
And that's the, I taught a hunter's education class a couple weeks ago to some kids, and you're talking about, it covers everything, right? But you talk about, safety and things like that as part of it, right? If you're out in the woods and you have an emergency, you have an issue, and that's what I was telling the kids is inevitably something will happen, right?
It's going to happen.
If you're ever out in the woods, or even if you're just not in the woods, you're just in a life situation, and you're in a bad situation. I can say this from being part of many rescue operations that panic does crazy things. I had a guy drown one time in water shallow enough he could have bobbed in. He was 5'6", 5'8", and he drowned in 6 foot of water because he panicked, right? And the whole thing is one, like I was telling the kids, take a deep breath and realize your situation.
Unless you're underwater.
Admit I'm in a spot. Like, hey, I'm in a bad situation. But then you have to say, hey, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get out of this, and this is how I'm going to.
Well, drowning's a for real panic.
Oh, yeah.
Sensation. Embarrassingly enough, something similar. I was out shark fishing. I was on my way where I'd already been to the third sandbar, but the tide was coming in. So I'm going between the second and the third sandbar, and I've got all my stuff. But I'm kind of paddle kicking, skipping through there. And the water's probably, when a wave comes 6.5, 7 foot deep. So I'm doing okay. But it catches me, and I go down, and I take a mouthful of salt water. Well, then, of course, inevitably, when you come up, first thing that smacks you is a wave. I panic. So I'm in a spot, and it wasn't me calming down like I should have. None of this was me. It was God, whatever. But when I went down, and I was in a bad spot, my 8 foot long surf rod, I felt it hit the bottom. And I got a pole, I got support, so I'm like up. And I turned around in defeat and go lay on the beach and got a beer and didn't fish anymore. But yeah, that was, if I've ever had real panic in my life, that was it, man. That's scary stuff. And I know that you and I, through our experiences, will die before we admit defeat.
Death before dishonor.
We were on a mountain in Montana, and we had spotted elk. And we've had this episode before.
Oh yeah,
good glass. Good glass will mess you up,
dude.
Man.
You will. Hey, this whole story, I'm not going to even lie to it. It is. You would have found me like Jack Nicklaus in The Shining before I quit. That bull was this.
I killed
big.
the grizz that billed me. But yeah, just frozen. Yeah, but we spot him 8 miles. I don't know, 6, 8 miles away.
Yeah, we found him the night before.
And
Yeah, good glass will.
good glass will get you killed.
Yeah, it will. Because you're like, ooh, that thing.
And we could tell how big it was. And it was multiple bulls and lots of cows. And
And it didn't help that, we're on a guided trip, and the guy that we're hunting with, that lives in Montana and guides all season long, when he got excited, you knew it was time to get really excited.
oh, we're talking about 2 totally different trips,
Oh, okay, never mind.
both of which we almost died. I'm talking about lizard head.
Oh, never mind. Oh, I'm talking about
Yeah, you're talking about
white sulfur.
Oh, yeah. White sulfur was rough. Well, you tell white sulfur because that is for real the coldest I've
No,
ever
you
been.
started,
in my
you
life.
finished, then I'll do mine.
All right, so we spot bulls off the highway about 6 to 8 miles in, and we look at a map and everything, and we're at a cool cabin that the only cabin I've ever known of that is above the tree line. So there is no oxygen. We're almost at 12,000 feet. We're like at 11, and
It's enough. We're so high that we're here in Anderson. When I sleep, my phone tracks all my health metrics, or my watch does. Sorry, and I don't have COPD. I don't have breathing issues. I'm at 99% oxygen saturation all the time.
Yeah.
I'd wake up gasping, and I check my watch. I'm down to 83, 82%. We're up there.
yeah. I think just about everybody either passed out at one point or got to it just because of overexertion from walking to the outhouse.
Yeah.
But
If you've ever got dizzy going to the bathroom.
But this is elk hunting. You get, and especially when you got other guys, you're gonna suck it up.
Yeah, I'm not.
So we spot these
not gonna be the
elk,
weak
and
one.
we're like, let's go. So we hike in full packs, and what's great is this is a public trail we're hiking in on, and soccer moms with a little baby carrier passing us,
it was
we're
true.
not even there, and we're just taking 5 steps and. So we are not acclimated, so we hike in for a full day, and it's rough, and it starts getting dark, and we got to figure out where to camp, and we find a spot. We pass through some really sketchy, treacherous switchbacks and stuff on the way there. Crazy steep.
It's like all muddy shale.
Yeah, scary, and
But here was the game plan, right? What we
there
knew
was a game plan.
We kind of knew what we were getting into. We found it was even at a distance. I mean, I'm looking through spot and scope at long range, and he was a studly little herd bull.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, here's the plan. We know we got weather blowing in 48 hours because
It was
upside.
supposed to
At
be.
this point, we're enough season into this that we've gained good gear every year. What didn't work, what we needed, we just get it throughout
And
the
weatherman
offseason.
says we got about 48 hours.
Yeah. And so we're like, okay, here's the plan. We're going to bomb in real fast. We're going to shoot that bull. All three are going to take what we can. We're going to come down the mountain super heavy, but it's downhill. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Go up light, down heavy, and then we'll be heroes.
None of that happened.
That was the plan.
So we go up too heavy, and we're not heavy, but every ounce weighs a pound.
But it felt heavy.
And we get up there, and finally we're about 45 minutes from dark, and we're looking at the terrain. I'm like, dude, we got to camp now because we couldn't
It got
navigate
dark.
something like that
Hurry.
again in the dark. There's no way. We're looking and you die. You fall, you die. So we find a little place we can camp. It has a creek running next to it, bear sign everywhere, so it's cool. Jeremy and I eat, which I attribute a lot of our not dying the following day to. Jake does not eat. Which I get overexerted.
You
don't want to eat,
yeah.
especially in that altitude.
You just
There's no appetite.
Yeah, you have to force yourself.
to
And I
force
just
yourself
couldn't.
to eat.
And I tried to eat a little bit, and my body was like, nope. I'm like, okay, cool.
So
Wrong call, but cool.
we go to sleep in our tents, whether it's for CO2 to escape or just it's the design of them. With that, they don't seal at the bottom. There's no floor necessarily, and so we found out with 3 of us in there, and it was a tight fit.
It's so you get air draft through there. That, my teepee is designed to run with a stove,
Right.
And that's the why. But
And if you don't have that, like the TP or the tent we're staying in right now, if I've got a CO2 monitor in there, and if a gap gets too secure at the bottom, even if it's just leaves, it can kill you. So you have to have some flow. But I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm cold. And the reason I'm cold is there's about 8 inches of snow on my back.
So imagine. So
Weatherman lied.
my hiking TP.
It's
It's like 6 foot tall, right? And it goes out about 6 foot.
yeah
in a circle.
It's a super tight 3-man tent.
It is, yeah. And we got, we kind of got our gear
you
in
got
there
feet in
with
your face.
us. We're tight, but the idea was we didn't need the stove because there's body heat and we're together.
And it wasn't going to be a blizzard.
And it wasn't going to be a blizzard yet. Well, wrong. So he's not. So we wake up because you're right. I remember waking up and I was cold, like my back was cold because, Jason and I. Imagine we're facing each other, and then you got Jeremy at our feet. So we're kind of making like this little U shape, and so our backs are against the walls. And I remember waking up and I'm sleeping in like all my clothes, and I was like, man, I'm cold, and I wonder why. And all of a sudden, all I noticed because I turned my headlamp on, all the walls are concave.
Right there.
They're
touching us.
What's supposed to be big enough that I can stand in is so close that I can't sit up.
Yeah.
And it is snowing its tail off.
It was, and nothing you can do. Ride it out.
Yeah.
Laugh about it.
Uh-huh.
We get up. Well, I was the only one who really trusted the weatherman, I guess, because
I get paid to do that job.
Yeah, whatever. No, I don't get it. Both Jeremy and Jake had the foresight to take their bow into the tent, and I'm like, I'm not taking my bow into the tent. It'll give me a little more room. If I don't, I left it outside. I wake up, I can't find my bow because it has been.
Coming from Texas, they're just gigantic. Imagine like a giant, Frosted Flake.
Yeah.
Like the cereal, every snowflake's just that big.
And it's sticking. So we wake up and we're talking.
It's pretty.
It's pretty. And Jake being determined, he can't. You got to.
We're a mile from him.
You got to make him like, even if he knows he's going to die doing something, you got to convince him like, you got to be the one to back down. So he's like, I'm going to go up there. I'm like, no, don't think you are. And at that point, I was like, I don't even know if we can make it down just with no elk. I can't imagine going up another mile and a half, getting on the elk, trying to skin them and everything else, getting them down. I was like, it's not going to happen. And I was 100% right in this situation because we started going down and the struggle was real.
Oh yeah,
knee high, shin high snow every step.
Shin to knee high, where especially like knee high where the drifts and stuff are.
And we get about halfway down and we realize, oh crap, we're in for real trouble because we can make 2 or 3 steps and then it's pretty much like collapse. And
because it's
going down and down and there's no air.
And being us, we don't know. We're from Texas. Yeah. That it's so much more energy to kick through snow than you think it is.
Yeah. we weren't ready. So at some point, we're just looking through there, and I'm thinking about, we're going to have to call rescue or what, because we're just looking at each other, and, like, everybody's at point
that 1,000-mile stare.
Like, pass out's there. Like, you can't even talk. And literally, you can't, like, we're that bad off. And everybody neon white, blue lips, and at some point, we just realized, like, oh, you're going to die. So I was worried about Jake because he hadn't eaten the night before. And I felt like he had the least amount of energy to get down.
Jason's my true buddy.
So I go in my pack, and I have one little sweet granola bar left, and I come over and I like shove it in his mouth.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a log, and
he doesn't want it.
I'm just hunched over, just like.
I said, eat the. And it reminds me when we get down at the bottom of the mountain, and we did.
Yeah, we did.
It took a long time, but we got down at the bottom of the mountain. But it reminded me of the scene from Dumb and Dumber where, the
extra gloves.
Yeah, he has the extra gloves. Because you're like, man, I'm like, as soon as you get down there, I was like, I'm damn hungry, dude. Like, I'm hurting. I need some energy. And you're like, well, I got all these granola bars in my backpack. It's so funny.
He was so mad.
But we made it down. I was mad. And then this jackwagon, he's like, all right. We get back to the cabin, and it's weird up there in the mountains because it does something to your brain. Because within an hour, he forgot that we were almost dying. We make it back up to the cabin. He's like, all right, let's get a game plan to start heading back up there tomorrow. What are you talking about? No. So I tell him no, thinking this is work. He goes out to the highway again, starts glassing.
Yep.
A place twice as hard to get to
Oh, yeah.
as we could did that time.
It's
and
covered in
almost died.
snow. It's like a 45+ degree angle. I'm like, we can do this.
Yeah. So no, but that
Mama
was
didn't raise a quitter.
that was a good one. Now, that was hard. That was a struggle, but that wasn't the coldest I've ever been on an elk hunt, or maybe not even the closest death. That was the closest death. But we'll tell the story that you.
Yeah, I'll make this one quick because we got to get into what's new around.
All right, thank you sponsors and thank you Kenny. We appreciate all you guys a lot. So if you're just getting here, first part of the show, we
Just telling stories.
just kind of impromptu talking about
Reminiscing.
all the times we've almost died.
Well, it's because we've been
different
talking
trips.
about getting ready for this fall.
We have.
What we're going to put in for draws and all that good fun stuff.
No, a lot of them already been put in. But this is something you always have to consider. And that's why our equipment gets better and better every year, too, is because of stories like this.
Yep.
But I started on a story about how cold we got, and you thought it was another story, so you tell that story, because that's a great story,
So
too.
we'll tell the
Another
story,
good
and then
glass
we'll.
story.
I still want to touch on some stuff for old St. Portrait Day here in a minute. But so the coldest we've ever been, same idea, right? So we're sitting there hunting outside of White Sulphur Springs, Montana, and we've been glassing and talking to our guide, and then we're not having just a ton of success, but kind of in it, kind of not in it at the same time, and
We're actually kind of laying out on a field.
yeah, and we're
On next to a river, and we're looking way over the river, like, whew.
we had this, there's a lot of acreage we could hunt, but you couldn't always see all the angles of it. So we kind of got out to the road to look at the backside, see if there's something we couldn't see. Anyways, we're glassing up this hillside, and there are these just two monster bulls. Like we're like Jason says, we're up against the tires, we're glassing, we're looking.
Monster.
And Ish, our guide, she's like, oh my gosh, it's we named Captain Jack because his main beams, they bladed out like swords. So we just called him like Jack Sparrow.
We're talking two 400-inch, 390 to 410, somewhere in there. Low fence.
Massive bulls.
Enough
that you start seeing Ish not even like waiting a second. He's not even, he's got, all his gear. He just chunk in the back seat screaming at us, we got to go. And so we get up there, start making this game plan, and it's cold. It's
We pushed on these bulls for two or 3 days, but
we just couldn't get on them.
we thought, which you can't necessarily do, we thought like whitetail we'd pattern them. Mm-hmm. Because for 2 or 3 evenings in a row, we found them in the same draw.
Yeah.
And so third evening I think was the last evening we had to hunt.
Mm-hmm. So we
got to do what you got to do.
We knew where they were. We put them to bed, and then we went up that next morning. We couldn't locate them, but we knew where they were feeding that evening the night before, and we hadn't bumped anything enough that Ish thought that it was they should be still hanging around, because elk are kind of like a whitetail, or kind of like a cow or any other animal. They're going to kind of hang around and feed in kind of a little cyclic nature. And he goes, I bet they're going to be back here. He goes, how comfortable with the shot? And I'm like, dude, I'm 600 yards, easy. He's like, perfect. I know the ridge. We'll have to shoot ridge, but I know where we can get to if y'all are okay with a little bit of hike. Dude, I'm here. Let's go. And so we get set up.
And the preface is Ish is a couple things. He's part mountain goat. He's young enough at the time. He's older now. He's young enough to where, I'm not going to say inexperienced, but doesn't have enough experience of a guide to know, it's not what you can do, it's what the guys you're pulling behind you. And neither one of us are in our early 20s.
And most importantly, at this time, he was an active wildland firefighter on a helitack crew.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this dude's next level.
Yeah, he's good to go.
And he's hungry enough for us to get this elk. Like, he's willing to push his body to the absolute limit, which doesn't leave us much room for.
So it's
it's
in the low 20s, upper teens, and we pack a bunch of stuff, but we go up the ridge and come down to this hill face, and we're looking across. We're on the north side. Winds has shifted. There's coming from the north, and we kind of bury in, and it just starts to blow like 40 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, when we say 30, 40, I mean, the junipers all around us are snap, just snapping everywhere.
I was leaning up against a tree that I could feel the earth kind of every once in a while, like
pull the root system,
heave beneath me. Yeah. It was blowing so hard. And
then it started raining.
It did. And so now
Or
we're
sleeting,
wet.
I guess would be the term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got everything on us. It's blowing, and dude, we're just sitting there. And never been real cold. It always starts your extremities and it starts working its way in. And neither one of us are going to tap out. We're both just sitting there shaking. And when you're trying to glass and you can't see anything because you're just vibrating so hard.
So I look up, poor little Ish. Isn't so poor little Ish. He's done. He's this is what he does. He's set up. So he brought his bed pad. So he's got that underneath him. Jake and I are on wet ground. And we're frozen to it by this point. Yeah. Like when we move, you hear the crunches, got the ice, and we had facial hair, you got the ice everywhere. And I'll admit, I went about 30 minutes before dark. I turned around at Ish and I was like, because we and him gave each other a look like, dude, this. I don't know. So I'm like, I'll do it. I'm like, man, I'm ready to get it. And he's like, dude, no, can't. He's like, yo, we committed this much. We went through this much pain. We'll go through 30 more minutes.
I had 2 jackets on.
I was dying.
I had a hard shell jacket and a puffy jacket and thermal layers and a vest. I was still cold.
And you ever, it's the cold with the wind. There was the wind. It's the 40-mile-an-hour wind.
That's what got it. It just cut through.
You're sitting there,
everything.
and you got to keep your eyes open because you're looking, right? That bull's going to pop out somewhere. Especially, you got to look really hard when it's getting dark. And so when your eyes are open, if you don't blink about every 10 seconds, they'll start to get that thin layer of ice on top of them. And so you get all the crunchy ices all around. Oh, it's so bad.
That wasn't even the thing for me. So I had this, like a buff, I think, like it's, like the face mask during COVID, but they're like thick and fleece. So kind of keep your face and your hair, everything got like around like the middle of your face form. Every once in a while, my nose is running, so I'd have to pull down it and wipe my nose and do that whole thing. I would breathe, and I could tell you where my sinus cavities were because they would freeze. It was so cold.
So,
but
we didn't get the bull that night. We
didn't even see anything. But so we just sat around in the wet, cold, and be miserable for fun.
And we got there early. He wanted for what? We got there about 1. So we did that for 6-7 hours. Then we had to walk back to the truck, and that's where I thought we were going to die, because
now everything's icy,
and nothing works. Fingers don't work, toes don't work, feet don't work. Nothing worked.
It's the only time I've been cold, but it was weird that it probably took a quarter mile for me to actually like my gait to get back to normal and stuff. Like it took a while for just stuff to work again. It was so like it was insane.
It sucked, but a great story.
See, that's the thing. All bad situations end up as great stories. No one's ever been like, you know what? This one time I was over there and I was like super safe and everything worked out great. Those aren't fun.
Yeah. We've almost slid off cliffs multiple times in vehicles.
Yeah, had to camp out overnight one because we got stuck in a snowbank. Yeah. That was a fun story.
Coming off a mountain once at that cabin we talked about in the previous episode that's at 12,000 feet, coming down, pulling a trailer
on ice.
And
no guardrails, no nothing. This is just like a homemade trail up a mountainside.
Yeah, that one went about like you wanted. There was a couple of times where like, it's good knowing you, buddy.
Yeah,
you got gravity and friction.
Like neither one's on your side. Just gonna go out together.
Neither one was on our side, but somehow made it.
But if you want more stories, swim by the shop. I'll tell them.
We got plenty of them.
And they get more colorful when they're not on the radio.
Oh, yeah. The ones we get really excited about, we have to throw the bad words in.
But speaking about getting excited, so we got St. Patrick's Day coming up. And the big thing at the moment is I had a guy, I was dog training yesterday, and that was the question. What's new? Like, he's got a hog problem and coyote problem. He's like, what's new out there? I've got X, which is, older. He's like, any new cartridges, like what's new with thermals, like what's out there? And I was like, man,
where do
you
little
bit of everything. Yeah. And the big thing for us right now, and I'm seeing through the shop, is the ARC cartridges, ARC.
Yeah.
And
dude, that's the big question that I hear all the time. I got a little too far away from the mic, but is, hey, which should I go with? The 22 Creedmoor or the 22 ARC? And they are two totally different animals.
Wildly. And it's crazy because they're basically the same idea, but not even close to being the same idea.
Yeah. And our question is always, what are you going to do with it? And a lot of times, it turns out they don't need either one of those cartridges. They might need like the 6 ARC.
See, I've had more people having really good success with the 6 ARC.
Well, that's right? That's what he's been running for 3 or 4 months, which John Busa, for him to keep any cartridge for 3 or 4
It's
months
surprising.
says a lot. He likes to try new stuff and see what works. So it's been working
Well,
for him.
like a guy the other day who come through here, we were sitting there talking about it because he's got both. And I told him, I was like, hey, I don't have any firsthand experience with it. I don't own either one of the cartridges. I hadn't shot anything with it. I'm familiar with the on paper aspect of it. He's like, hey, will you do me a favor? Like, just explain why you like each one better.
Yeah.
And the best thing that he said, it kind of depends the situation that you're at. He goes, and he does a lot of these predator tournaments.
Yeah.
And he goes, if I'm shooting for weight and I'm shooting for money, he goes, I like the 22 just because
The Creedmoor or the Arc?
the arc.
Yeah.
And that's what this specific was asking the differences between the arcs.
Okay.
Like, why would you want one versus the other, right? And what he told me is that he's getting the kills, and he likes the 22 just because smaller hole in. He's running that VT bullet, that Hornady ELD VT, their partition bullet. He goes, it fragments inside, it kills them, and I get very little blood loss that way, so they weigh heavier. He goes, the only downside is, a lot of times the coyotes I'll hit one, they'll spin a couple times, they'll run off the brush, I gotta go find them. He goes, something up with that 6 arc though. He's like, I know it that I get, a little bigger exit holes out of it. Mm-hmm. It does a little more damage. He goes, but if I'm hunting close to property lines, or if he goes, and what he told me, I've got twin guns. He goes, I'll set up and I'll have A and B next to me. And he goes, I got 22 here and I got a 6 here. Because if all of a sudden, if I'm hunting these tournaments, I need a big cat or big dog and a big one shows up. Yeah. He goes, there's something about that 6 arc. I have yet to have anything ever run on me. He goes, they will just fold like a cheap lawn chair every time.
Some rounds that it's almost like they're magical.
Mm-hmm.
I believe like that. And
That's
I've heard the same thing. I've had the same, not on predators that you would lose too much weight, but on a 708, shooting big game. I mean, I don't know if I've just got lucky every time or what. It just drops. And but with St. Portraits Day coming up, talking about new stuff and stuff, on the thermal end, just at this point, get something, get comfortable with it. Start somewhere. That's what we talked about with the night vision and thermal last week.
Oh, yeah.
Have an entry point. If you don't already have something, just start at the bottom, work your way up.
And the interesting thing, too, is I'm seeing, I talked to a kid yesterday that we sold a 22 Creed setup to, and he put that A60R on it. So it's IRA's new 1280 core. Loves it. He said he was hunting some tournament the other day. He goes, I was in this thicket. He goes, it blew my mind still with how dense the brush was, how much I was able to see through it all and do all the things. And he was in love with it. But at the same time, like we talked about last week, is that I'm seeing some people pick up a cheap scanner. They want that high-end definition of the higher-end thermals, but they're grabbing a cheaper handheld just to go, yep, there's something over there, especially like the little stuff like coons and possums and like a lot of these what they call qualifier animals. You got to turn in 3 possums and 3 coons or whatever the heck it is.
Right.
And so it's definitely interesting this where the industry is going with these, as popular as these tournaments are becoming. And these intermediate cartridges, I'm even seeing a huge resurgence, and I never thought I'd see this. 243.
Yep.
Hornady kicked out that super performance in the 62 grain. I think it is. Either way, it's a 243 doing almost 4,000 feet a second.
One that we went.
That's fun because most folks have an old dust collecting 243 that can come out of retirement.
We probably went the last 5 years without up until last year, without anybody mentioning 22-250. Mm-hmm. And now
he's making a comeback again.
I had someone text me this morning, Levi. He's doing a tournament, I think in a week or two in, I don't know where Richardson, Texas is, but in Richardson and Predator. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, 22-250 or 22 Creedmoor.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I have one gun, all my tournaments pig and this and that. And I think we kind of steered towards 22 Creedmoor for what he needs. But
yeah, the little heavier bullet, especially since pig's involved. I'm with him on that one.
Yeah. And I need to do my research because I know absolutely nothing about it other than it's a little heavier, a little bit slower, but the 25 Creedmoor. And I've had several people, and
I still might worry with that one though, right?
I don't feel like I feel like my dad when he'd get me to come over and get like to program his remotes or his new TV. And I'm like, why don't you want to learn how to do it? And they're like, I've learned 10 platforms. You know, by the time I figure this one out, it'll be obsolete. You'll give me another one. So it's kind of the same thing. And I could be totally wrong. 25 Creedmoor might be the wave of the future. You never know.
And, you know, and I actually had this conversation the other day or yesterday, I think, with the fella. He goes, well, why 22 versus 25?
Because 22's established for more.
And that's one thing. That's one thing I said. 25 still on the newer side. There's not a lot of offerings out there because I'm sure there's more bullet selection coming out there. But I just hate there being two.
Yeah.
You know, white box Hornady and gray box Hornady, right? But here was my problem, right? Because you know, been doing this a minute now, and I remember when 6.5 Creedmoor first released. It was stupid hot. And then right behind it, 6 Creed, which on paper is a phenomenal round, but it just died on the vine in comparison. And I said, for me personally, and I could be 100% wrong, and if I am, please call me and educate me because I'm asking honestly. There's not enough difference for me that I can see at the moment, and maybe there is. You know, Horizon, if you're listening, call me. I got questions. That 264 bullet of the 6.5 Creedmoor versus the 25 caliber bullet of the 25 Creed, they're just so close.
Yeah.
That
really close.
I don't understand the big difference in the why there, and I need to do my research. But I do see the big difference between the 6.5 and the 22 because now the 22 Creed is essentially that modern day 22-250, just heavier.
And that's what I was going to say too.
So,
it might change too with the 25 when we see more bullet options become available.
Very much so.
That could happen as well. But if,
well, it's the same idea behind that 6 arc, right? It's a Grendel neck to 6 millimeter, but you're getting better terminal performance and better, more speed, and especially we're starting to see this, right? Because it's a 7 backcountry, and you're going to start seeing across the board with that casing technology, is that we're picking up just as much speed, if not more, but barrels are getting shorter. And now with essentially, I'm going to call it air quotes here, free SBRs, where we'll see some of this technology go. Maybe that's where the 25 shine and the 6 arcs shine, is that
absolutely.
Now,
but that's
now we're not running
something. At this point,
we can't even with a can, 25, 27, 28, 30 inches, you're 16, 18 inches overall with a can and still getting the performance. So maybe we're just a little too far on that leading edge of it all.
Yeah. I mean, technology could change so dramatically in the next 12 months that this whole conversation might be obsolete.
I tell people all the time, we are in the Renaissance era of shooting stuff. There's more intelligent or intellectual, let's go intellectual, gun folk that are just making cool stuff. And it's kind of like being that .com era, late 90s where, computer was obsolete in about 15 minutes. It's the same idea. We're just coming up with newer cool stuff. And you're like, okay, this is it. We've hit the ceiling. And then there's something another, and then another.
Hey, because we're going to have to wrap it up here before too long. Speaking of St. Patrick's Day, if you don't know what St. Patrick's Day is,
the greatest event in
the world.
Yeah, in the world.
It is the largest Texas hog hunting festival in the world. For sure. Last year we had about over 7,000 people that we know of that came in. Mm-hmm. How do I explain it? So it's a hog hunt
coupled with a really fun backyard barbecue,
coupled with a mini shot show and a concert. Like this, we'll probably wind up giving away over $250,000 in raffles, and that's not us. As much as I would love to be, we give a lot, but all these manufacturers and vendors and everybody that are here, they donate a lot.
Oh yeah,
and we'll have not just door giveaways and stuff, but we'll have raffles you can enter, and lots of awesome raffles to where you can buy a $20 ticket, drop it in there, and what that $20 goes to is to local Grimes County scholarships for our high school seniors and our first responders. This year it's going to go to the Anderson Volunteer Fire Department. Last year we were able to give 10 $2,500 scholarships to really deserving high school seniors, and it meant a lot to them. And then we gave a $5,000 check to our volunteer fire department. So this year we want to do even more. And we have to support our volunteer fire department because Jake and I both
We'll set something on
we,
fire.
We do. We set fires. We don't necessarily mean to. We start fires. But if you get the chance, so if you want to enter into it, call, go to our Facebook page, go to our website. We've got all the details on there. It's fun. It's 4-man teams. Y'all can hunt anywhere in the state. You don't have to hunt together. We'll give you all the rules and regs on that.
And even if you don't hunt it, plan to be here the 14th.
Free beer, free concert.
All the giveaways.
If you get here early,
you can see all the weigh-ins.
Yeah. Get here early because from 8 to noon is our weigh-ins. We're pushing it this year to where we're trying to give incentives to weigh in earlier, like a little care package or something. That way we don't have a bottleneck leading up to that 12 o'clock spot. But we do our award ceremony and everything. Hopefully by 1, at 1 o'clock, the concert happens. The party happens. And this whole time we're giving 1 or 2 guns away every hour from 8 a.m. all the way through the day, plus all kinds of other stuff. The raffles, I think we've got some amazing stuff on top of firearms. Like I think there's going to be one for like a 150-inch whitetail with lodging included and a shoulder mount and all that. Like
there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, we're still 2 weeks out, so we don't know everything we're going to have yet. Like last year we had an African safari. Like we've had so much. Like it's worth coming. There's no crappy prizes, and we want to make sure everybody who comes leaves with something.
Oh, for sure.
Has something to show for it, and to show that they've been a part of the event in the community. So we love the party aspect of it too. We like getting to hang out with other people.
Well, hey, that's what Ruger said a couple years ago. This is an event like none other. He goes, most events that they do, people show up, get their free thing, and bail.
Bounce.
He goes, this one, like they just hang out and have fun.
Bring their lawn chairs and just
Make a
hang
day
out.
of it.
And if you've ever been to the store, you're like, dude, where can you put that many people? Where can you put thousands of people, their cars and all that? We've got neighbors that are cool enough, whether it's the church next to us, Tyler Bell, Mr. Janchek, they will let all the cars park over there. And then we've got WC Tractor, who's going to bring their giant side-by-sides out and
shuttle everybody around
back and forth. And if you want to sponsor it, because we've got some amazing sponsors already this year that have shown up. Our big headliners are Ruger and B&B, but we've got Catalina Hatters, which we're huge supporters. He's wearing a Catalina hat right now, it looks like, of those guys. Bobcat of Brazos Valley, they reached out yesterday. Rail and Rye there in Navasota, they shouted at us. Every day we're getting more and more sponsors. We want everybody to know about it. It's not just people in the gun industry. It's local businesses coming together to help support this, and it's really appreciated.
To help support the youth. I mean, that's what it goes to.
And we want to support you guys. So on all our social media platforms, on this, the radio show, whatever, we're going to promote the heck out of you. Madole Rentals is another one, big one. But we'll have a list as we get closer, and we're going to start shouting the names out and praise them as much, on top of trying to get them on shirts, putting them on banners, and all that stuff. So if you do sponsor, people are going to know about it.
There you go. Yeah. Guys, appreciate y'all tuning in, listen to our stories, and letting us reminisce over things.
What you heading out to do?
I'm going to go work on St. Portrait's Day.
Rock and roll.
That's what I'm going to go work on some sponsorships.
I'm going to go grab the kiddo, and we're going to head for a day to Killeen to go looking for some arrowheads.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
It will. Mama's out of town right now, so I'm going to have a guys' weekend.
Nice.
It'll be fun. Guys, we sure do appreciate you. If you get the chance, stop by the store, check out the website. Come check us out.
Just as much fun in person as the radio.
No, we're a blast if you can handle us. We sure do appreciate you. Y'all have a blessed weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.